Y'all, it is hot this summer. I don't have to tell you twice. You can't even walk from your house to your car without feeling this heat. Our plants feel this heat, and we are expecting too much out of our plants in this heat. I'm seeing pictures online of people posting pictures of the leaves of their plants. They're turning yellow, they're turning brown, the plants are wilting. These plants don't like this heat. It's a lot of trauma for the plants, and we're tricked into thinking that we have to do a lot to help our plants to thrive. What we need to do is give our plants a break, give them a rest, give them time to recover. Find a place in your yard that's safe for them. I'll explain to you what that means, but you don't need to water and water and water. Sometimes that's not going to do it. It's just too hot. You don't need to fertilize. The plants are already experiencing a lot of trauma right now, and sometimes fertilizer, especially too much fertilizer, can force them into more trauma. And if you move them around too much, they have to acclimate to the environment. So here our plants are hot, we're fertilizing them, we're watering them, and we're moving their environment. Guys, we just need to find a place in our yards that our plants can go rest. Don't ask too much of your plants. I'm gonna show you 3 places in my yard. I call them my plants safe space, or the hospital, where my plants can go rehab. Sometimes they won't thrive in these places, but they will definitely survive. So let me give you an example real quick. So right behind me, I had a hibiscus here for a long time in this spot in the pot, and it's been doing well. And then all of a sudden the heat got to it. It turned yellow, the leaves fell off. It wasn't happy at all. I watered it multiple times a day. It didn't do it. So I just decided to drag it 30 feet across my yard, right over here. It still doesn't look great, but if you can tell up close, there's actually some green on the stems. Actually, believe it or not, bloomed. And I haven't done anything different other than moved its environment. I haven't fertilized it, I haven't watered it anymore. But a little bit of neglect and a safe place for your plant can help them survive this heat and give them a fighting chance for next season. So let's go look at my 3 safe places for my plants. All right, this is my first place. You can see I got this giant elephant ear here, and underneath it, there's a bunch of ferns. And then down in there, I have a bird of paradise. I actually have 2 pitcher plants. You can see a big one there, and there's a smaller one in there. But I can put plants here, I can forget about them. This area stays fairly humid in this spot. It's protected from the morning sun, and then the afternoon sun, it gets shaded from that big old Savannah holly and this giant vitex that I'm just letting grow into a bush. You can actually see I've got a monstera there rehabbing right now. I can literally put plants here, forget about them for a few days, and come back and they're just fine. I'm actually starting my seeds back here, and I've had these outside in this heat for a week, and you can see I haven't watered them in a couple of days, believe it or not, and they're still moist. So that's my safe place number 1 for my plants. My safe place 2 is on the back part of my fence. The sun will set right over here, so it's protected by this lime tree, and it's actually inside my old chicken coop. So if we peek in here, there's a bunch of plants down here right now that I have absolutely 100% neglected. They get watered from time to time when I water my other plants back here, but my plumeria is back here. I got all this Cuban oregano growing, so it creates this beautiful shade, keeps a lot of moisture down here at the bottom. I've started some plants down here and I haven't watered them in about a day, and they're in pots and they're doing okay because they're protected by the shade from these other plants. And this is my original plant hospital right here under this shade from the Savannah holly up against this fence. So you can see back up in here, it's real shaded. It gets a little bit of sun, mostly filtered sun. Monstera is absolutely loving it right now. I actually planted that in the ground, and that is actually thriving in this spot. But here's a pepper plant that's been in a pot that hasn't been doing good. I dragged it back here a couple of days ago, and it's starting to actually has a little flower right there already. Here's a hibiscus that I have absolutely done nothing to, and it actually started to flower again. I dragged my other hibiscus here. My shishito pepper is here, struggling a little bit, needs a little bit of water. But I got a pothos here, it's growing well. Here's my mango. Here's a jalapeno that's doing terribly. But you can see it's nice and shaded, and it's probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler here. So those are the 3 safe places, or my 3 plant hospitals in my yard. Find a place for your plants. It could be behind a structure, near a fence, underneath the shade of a tree, or a bigger plant that's got a lot of foliage on it. But if you feel so inclined to fertilize your plant, use something mild like fish fertilizer or worm castings. If you fertilize too heavy, that could add trauma to your plant. The last thing you want to do when you're outside in the heat is eat a big old steak or a big old bowl of pasta, right? Your plants don't want that. So find that safe place for them. Keep watering. I'm not saying don't water. Obviously your plants need water to survive, but put them in a place that they can last longer. They don't dry out, so they don't experience as much trauma. But get out there, take care of your plants. Let's give them a chance to survive this season so that they can thrive in the next season. Y'all, happy planting, and thanks for watching.